You've probably heard the name Phineas Gage, right? The story is just, it's wild. But it's why more than just some crazy accident. His life is basically a time machine. And today, we're going to jump in, travel back to the 1840s, and ask a really simple question. How much has our world really changed since his time? Okay, so picture this. It's 1848. A railroad foreman, this guy Phineas Gage, has this horrible accident. A 13-pound iron rod, a huge piece of metal, goes straight through his skull. And get this, he was awake and talking just minutes later. The fact he even survived was a total miracle, sure. But it was also this massive mystery that completely upended everything we thought we knew about the human brain. Yeah, surviving that is one thing, but his story, it's like a perfect window into an America that is so different from ours, you almost wouldn't recognize it. So let's ask that question. What was his world really like? All right, first up, let's step right into his world. A little window into the 1840s. So life back then, especially where Gage lived in rural New England, well, it revolves around three things: your family, your church, and your local community. That was it. You could call it a simpler world for sure, but man, it was also a much harder one. Those social bonds, they weren't just for fun get-togethers. They were literally about survival. Okay, so now for the fun part. Let's put his world right next to ours and see just how massive the changes have been. Think about the medical care. Gage's doctor, a guy named John Harlow, could basically just clean the wound and hope for the best. No antibiotics, no x-rays, they didn't even really have sterile tools. Today, Gage wouldn't just go to a hospital, he'd be rushed to a specialized neurotrauma unit, a place that would have looked like straight-up science fiction back then. Or what about just the clothes on your back? Gage probably owned, a handful of handmade, practical things that were built to last for years. We, on the other hand, have closets stuffed with mass-produced clothes. And trends, they can make an outfit feel out of style in, a few weeks? All thanks to social media. It's the exact same story with hairstyles. Back in the 1840s, it was all about simple and neat. Men, short hair, maybe some sideburns. Women, long hair, tied back in a practical bun. And now? Come on, our hair is basically a canvas for anything we can imagine. Wild cuts, bright colors, styles influenced from every corner of the globe. And let's talk about music. In Gage's world, pretty much every song you ever heard was played live, right in front of you. It was your family gathered around a piano or some fiddlers at a local dance. Today, we have the entire history of recorded music streaming directly into our ears anywhere, anytime. But maybe the biggest change of all was the idea of community itself. Back then, it was all face-to-face. And this is crucial to his story. After the accident, people said Gage's personality changed so much that his friends famously said he was no longer Gage. And because of that, he was basically kicked out of that tight-knit world. That social isolation, it was probably almost as devastating as the iron rod itself. So when you look at all of that, it feels like we're practically a different species, right? The tech, the culture, just the rhythm of daily life, it's all completely alien. But is that the whole story? Has everything about us really changed? Because when you dig a little deeper, you start to find some really surprising similarities. And what you find is that all our modern crazy technology, it's still built on top of four basic, fundamental human needs. These are the core drives that actually connect our world right now directly to Phineas Gage's. Let's take human connection. When Gage's personality shifted, he lost his community. So what did he do? He spent the rest of his life looking for a new one. We do the exact same thing, we just do it with social media instead of stagecoaches. And the drive to heal and care for each other, that was Dr. Harlow, working like crazy to save him. And self-expression? Well, later in life, Gage actually exhibited himself with that tamping iron. It was his way of creating a new identity. And isn't that what we do with our online profiles, our fashion, and our music? So wrapping this all up, what can Phineas Gage's world really teach us about our own? Well, I think it boils down to this. Understanding the hardships of his world really helps us appreciate the conveniences of our own. But more than that, watching him struggle to rebuild his life is a powerful reminder that those fundamental human challenges, they're the things that really, truly last. The story of Phineas Gage is like a bridge between two completely different Americas. It shows us that, yeah, our tools, our technology, that stuff will always be changing. But the human quest, that deep need to heal, to connect with others, and to figure out who we are, that stays wonderfully, stubbornly the same. So, I'm going to leave you with one final thought to chew on. If Phineas Gage could be transported right here, today, what do you think would shock him more? The smartphone in your hand, or the fact that even with all our incredible technology, we are still wrestling with the very same need for connection and meaning that defined his life after that terrible accident? It's really something to think about.